Welcome to Homemaking with Mima. My name is Wendy, and I'm going to bring you along today to make these cinnamon rolls. So let's go do this. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to put the yeast into the mixing bowl, and then I'm going to put the milk that is at 110 degrees. You don't want it any warmer and you don't want it any cooler. And then I'm also going to be placing in sugar because yeast likes sugar, and so that also helps it activate. And I'm going to take a fork and mix it all up together in the bowl just to kind of give it a head start. And then I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes just to wait for it to bloom. I'm showing you the ingredients. I have bread flour, the sugar I already put in. I have salt, cinnamon, melted butter, and then I always pre-measure my stuff in a container. And I will put a description, in the description box I'm going to put the recipe as well for you to view if you're interested. The yeast has bloomed, and so we're going to start making these cinnamon rolls. You're going to see that I'm going to add the flour, salt, and cinnamon. And then I'm also going to add the melted butter. And I had a suspicion, the recipe only called for 3 cups of flour, and I just felt that there was too much liquid in there. And so you're going to see me adding more flour in just a little bit here because my suspicion was right. I started with a 1/4 cup, and I ended up using a total of an extra cup of flour. So I will put that change in the recipe that I'm going to have in the description box below for you. And my suspicion was correct. It did take the whole cup of flour, and here you can just see it all mixing together in the bowl. I'm going to let it knead for 5 minutes. I don't do the 7 minutes. My mixer can't handle all that. So 5 minutes it is. So while the dough is kneading, I decided to make my filling, and the filling calls for a 1/2 cup of melted butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, after I'd made this and I had tasted it, I had decided that for the next time that I make it, I'm going to go 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of regular sugar, because the molasses and the brown sugar was a little overpowering in the cinnamon rolls. And at first I thought this filling was going to be way too much for the dough that I had, but you'll see I end up using it all, and it actually, it spread out really well. And you can see me putting the cinnamon in here. I get it all mixed up. It's a really dark filling because, you know, the cinnamon and the brown sugar, because there's molasses and brown sugar, like I said. But it mixed up well, and after I got it all mixed up, I just set it aside and just let it sit room temperature till I was ready to use it. The dough is finished kneading now, so I'm just going to spray my hands a little bit because I know the dough is a little bit tacky, but not enough that it's, you know, real sticky for your hands and that. And as you can see, I kind of struggle getting it off the hook. I don't know why, but then I had trouble getting the hook out. So, but anyhow, I got it off of there and I cleaned up the hook. And then you're going to see me, I'll show you what it looks like in the bowl. Then I'm going to walk it to the table and get it out of the bowl, and I'll be folding it into itself. But I also spray the inside of the bowl so that it doesn't stick, because it has to rise for 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes was sufficient enough for it. So that went good as well as far as the first rise. And after I spray the bowl, get the dough back in there, I spray the top. I put a Dollar Tree shower cap bonnet on it. That's what I use. I reuse them about 3 times and then I throw them away. And then I'm going to walk it over to the stove. I do not have my stove on, but I have my light on, and so that heat from the light is going to help with that first rise. And again, it's only going to rise for 10 minutes. So I'm just showing you that I've got it near the light in the oven. I shut the door, I walk over to my timer, and I push the button for it to do its first rise for the 10 minutes. So now I took it out of the oven and I just lightly dusted my table, and I take it out and I start spreading it out onto the table. I get my rolling pin, I dust it just a little bit. I roll it out to about a 1/2 inch, maybe less than that, into a rectangle. And then I roll it up, I pinch the seams, and I do show you towards the end that I'm going to be using a 9x13 pan. And so that's what I'm doing in this clip. Again, it's a 9 by 13 pan. Be sure to spray it. Very important. Then I'm going to be using my butter knife because it's serrated and it just works better. I would have used unwaxed, unflavored dental floss, but I did not have any. So I cut it in half, then I cut those halves in half. Then I take those sections and I cut them into three pieces. I do learn that I have to wipe my knife off because the sugar is sticking to it because of the butter in that. So just keep a rag next to you, wipe the knife off in between each one. Otherwise, you're going to have that sugar and butter like all over the outside of the cinnamon rolls. So that's my advice for that. So now for the second rise. So I'm going to put some saran wrap on it. I do spray the saran wrap and then fold that sprayed side over on top of the cinnamon roll so that it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to be placing it onto the top of my oven that I did preset at 350, and the heat from that oven is going to help with the second rise. I did let these rise for a total of 40 minutes because you want to double in size, and I kept peeking at them and it was kind of cool in the house. So it did take a little bit, even though I had the oven on as well. The second rise is complete, so I remove the saran wrap and I place them into the oven, and I'm going to be cooking them for a total of 29 minutes. They're done cooking, so I'm going to let them cool on the rack in the pan till they are completely cooled, and I ended up using a powdered sugar glaze that I had made to put on the top of them. And here's what they look like with that powdered sugar glaze on top of it. It was completely cooled when I had put this on. I scooped up one for everyone that was in the house that evening. They ended up microwaving theirs. I just ate mine without it being microwaved because it was good just like that. And you'll see that I'll give it a 2 thumbs up because it was good. I do plan on making this recipe for Christmas, and my family was actually excited because I don't normally make treats like this for Christmas morning. I want to thank you folks for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up, share with family and friends, and I want you folks to make it a really great day.